Before we begin, understand this. Most people are not destroyed by failure. They are destroyed by negativity, negative opinions, negative environments, negative thoughts repeated every single day until weakness becomes their identity. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize it's happening. They think they are tired, but really their mind is overloaded. They think they lack motivation, but really, they lost control over their attention. This audiobook is about taking that control back. Because when you train your mind to ignore negativity, everything changes. Your focus changes. Your discipline changes. Your confidence changes. You stop reacting emotionally to everything around you. You stop seeking validation from people who do not matter. You stop wasting energy on things that add no value to your life. That's power. And power begins with mental discipline. Not talent. Not luck. Discipline. So listen carefully, because the lessons in this audiobook will force you to confront the habits, thoughts, and emotional patterns that are keeping you weak. You have a choice. Stay emotionally controlled by the world, or become mentally strong enough to control yourself. Let's begin. Most people lose their peace before the day even begins. They wake up. They check their phone. They read bad news. They compare themselves to strangers. They absorb opinions they never asked for. And before they even leave their bed, their mind is already weak. That is how negativity works. Quietly, gradually, constantly. It enters your mind through repetition. One negative comment, one failure, one rejection, one betrayal, one bad day. Then suddenly your entire identity becomes built around fear, doubt, and emotional exhaustion. That's the trap, and most people never escape it because they think negativity is something happening around them. It's not. Negativity becomes dangerous when it starts living inside you. That's the key. You cannot control the world. You cannot stop criticism. You cannot stop disrespect. You cannot stop difficult situations. But you can control your response. You always have a choice. That is what mentally strong people understand. Weak people react to everything. Strong people observe everything. Weak people absorb energy. Strong people protect energy. Weak people let words control their emotions. Strong people let discipline control their emotions. It's not about avoiding negativity. It's about refusing to feed it. That changes everything. Because once negativity controls your attention, it controls your behavior. You stop taking risks. You stop trusting yourself. You stop focusing. You stop growing. And slowly, you become emotionally dependent on the opinions of other people. That is dangerous. Because the world will always have critics. Always. People will doubt you before you succeed. People will misunderstand you before they respect you. People will laugh before they admire you. That is the process. You need to accept that. You don't need their permission to improve your life. Read that again. You don't need their permission. Not from your friends. Not from your family. Not from strangers online. Not from people who quit on their own dreams years ago. Their negativity is not your identity. But if you keep listening to negative voices long enough, eventually you start speaking negatively to yourself, and that voice becomes the most dangerous voice of all, because now the enemy is inside your own mind. Now every opportunity feels impossible. Every challenge feels personal. Every mistake feels permanent. This is why emotional control matters, not motivation. Discipline. Because motivation disappears when life gets difficult. Discipline stays. Discipline wakes up tired and still works. Discipline gets rejected and still continues. Discipline feels fear and still moves forward. You have to train your mind the same way athletes train their body. Daily. Not once. Not sometimes. Daily. That means you stop entertaining negativity. Notice the word entertaining. Most people don't realize they are addicted to negative thinking. They replay insults in their mind for years. They imagine failure before action. They create arguments that never happened. They complain constantly, and then they wonder why they feel mentally exhausted. Your mind becomes whatever you repeatedly feed it. That's the truth. If you feed it fear, it becomes fearful. If you feed it excuses, it becomes weak. If you feed it discipline, it becomes powerful. You have a choice every single day. You can choose distraction or focus. You can choose emotional reactions or emotional control. You can choose victim thinking or responsibility. And responsibility is where power begins. Because the moment you stop blaming everything around you, you finally regain control over yourself. That's the shift. Most people wait for perfect conditions before they become mentally strong. But strength is built during chaos, not comfort. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy. Anyone can feel confident when everything works out. But can you stay disciplined when nobody supports you? Can you stay focused when people doubt you? Can you remain calm when life becomes unfair? That is the real test, and life will test you, again and again, not to destroy you, to reveal you. Negativity reveals emotional weakness. Pressure reveals discipline. Silence reveals confidence. Watch strong people carefully. They do not complain constantly. They do not react emotionally to every opinion. They do not seek validation from everyone around them. Why? Because they understand something most people never learn. Attention is energy, and where attention goes, energy flows. If you spend your energy on negativity, you will have nothing left for growth, nothing left for discipline, nothing left for purpose, nothing left for improvement. That is why protecting your mind is not selfish. It is necessary. You must become selective. Selective with conversations, selective with environments, selective with information, selective with people. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. That's the key. Some people only bring drama. Some people only bring doubt. Some people only bring excuses. And if you stay around excuses long enough, excuses become normal. You start lowering your standards. You start accepting mediocrity. You start becoming average, quietly, slowly, dangerously. You must resist that. You must learn the discipline of mental distance. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every problem deserves your emotions. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stay silent. Calmness is power. Emotional control is power. Focus is power. Never forget that. The goal is not to become emotionless. The goal is to become emotionally disciplined. There is a difference. Emotionless people disconnect from life. Disciplined people control themselves within life. That is true strength. And once you master that skill, negativity loses its influence over you, because now your mind belongs to you again, not to social media, not to critics, not to toxic people, not to fear, to you. That's freedom, real freedom. The freedom to think clearly, the freedom to act calmly, the freedom to move forward without emotional chains holding you back. And that freedom changes your entire life. Because when negativity stops controlling your mind, discipline finally takes over. You stop reacting. You start building. You stop complaining. You start improving. You stop seeking approval. You start seeking growth. That is transformation. You mastered awareness. You learned how negativity enters the mind and weakens discipline. Now it's time to build the shield that protects your focus every single day.